Hey everyone, it's Adrian Cheng here from Century 21 here in Toronto. Today we're going to talk about common mistakes to avoid as a landlord. Number 1, not doing enough due diligence. If you have a tenant applicant who's interested in your property and you're working with a realtor in Ontario, we usually check and ask for tenant credit, tenant history, employer references, an employment letter, and we check landlord references. Now, I know you might have heard scary stories about a tenant wrecking a place, not paying rent, not taking care of a property properly, and it is a scary thought to give your biggest financial asset to a stranger. There are bad tenants out there, but there are also good tenants out there. You want to find and hold on to the good tenants as long as you can, because they'll give you steady rent and a good peace of mind knowing that your property is in good hands. For instance, if you get an offer on Friday but you don't have time to contact those references and check with the employers and so forth, then you may have to wait till the Monday, because Saturday, Sunday comes along, you're not going to be able to get in touch with them. So sometimes the offer may expire and they may have to resubmit, but sometimes that's the way it's going to have to be, and the tenant really wants the property, then they'll wait. Definitely one of the most common mistakes to make as a landlord, rushing into the decision too quickly and not doing enough research and not getting those answers from the tenant, not checking those backgrounds. Because once you check those backgrounds, you have that peace of mind and that information to make a sound decision. Mistake number 2, focusing only on the immediate revenue. In other words, not focusing enough on keeping a AAA tenant. A AAA tenant is someone that pays on time, that pays every month, that keeps your place well maintained and clean, doesn't complain or become a nuisance to you, and doesn't complain about small repairs, and in some cases does those small repairs and fixes themselves. This is a AAA tenant. So you should definitely focus on keeping a AAA tenant, because right now I've seen landlords not doing that, because as we know, rent has skyrocketed, rent has increased. If you had a unit renting for $2,500 a month last year, this year, it's become $2,800, $2,900. Now at $2,800, somebody may look, oh, I'm making an extra $300 a month. So 300 times 12, $3,600 a year. Now what they aren't calculating is to find a quality tenant, or even a decent one nowadays, usually go to a real estate brokerage and they'll charge you 1 month rent plus HST. $2,800 plus HST is $3,164. $3,600 subtract $3,164 is $436. So that's really not that much more that you get, because you're actually adding a month rent plus HST. And not to mention, on top of that, you have to look at if it was vacant for longer. Sometimes, not in this current market right now, it's a September, but in certain slower markets, it may take longer for your unit to rent out. It may take longer for you to find a tenant. Sometimes it could take a month up to 2 months. So there's additional 1 to 2 months rent you could also lose by switching to another tenant. On top of that, you don't know if the tenants you're bringing on the next one are trustworthy or as good quality as a previous one. So if they are indeed what you think is a AAA tenant, you should definitely try to hold on to them instead of trying to find a new tenant at high rent. Keep in mind, long-term appreciation will outweigh the short-term costs. Mistake number 3, not knowing your own rights and the tenant rights. Landlords need to be familiar with the Ontario Tenancies Act. Follow all its rules, as any violations can result in a dispute or trouble for you. The Ontario Landlord and Tenant Board is the main mediator contact for disputes between landlord and tenant. In 2017, Ontario made mandatory for a form called the Ontario Standard Lease to be used in every lease, which lists out the tenant's rights but not so much the landlord's. Assume your tenants are all smart lawyers and treat them as such, even if they're new immigrants. Otherwise, you could be looking at mistakes that you get caught on and then you could eventually pay for it. Mistake number 4, thinking their investment property means no work or no stress. Rent in the GTA is sky high, the highest prices we've seen in a very long time. The investment property, depending on the age, may always need your constant attention. It may need upgrades to match the market rents, to make it more attractive to those quality AAA tenants out there that are not looking for a hole in the wall and things falling apart. They want turnkey apartments, turnkey properties that they can be comfortably living with their family, as you would. When you moving into a new country, new city, you want to feel comfortable as well. So picture yourself, if you're paying $3,000 in rent, is this property suitable? Will I be happy here? If the answer is yes, you got yourself a good investment property to attract a quality tenant. Of course, you want to keep your costs down, and if you can, do the fixes yourself. If you're not able to do it, you're far away from the property, then you may want to hire a property manager, and then they in turn will fix it or get somebody to fix it for them. Mistake number 5, not keeping good tenant relations. Not keeping a good relationship with the tenant can be costly. For example, when you're ready to sell your property and it's tenanted, you may need the tenant to allow showings. And this has been especially hard during some times of COVID, where a tenanted property barely sees any traffic because they're not cooperating, they're not letting anyone in, and because of COVID, they could use that excuse as not letting someone view the property, so you're not getting as many offers and that much more traffic. This is also costly in the terms of they may choose to make it difficult to move out, and may leave a mess everywhere, and generally make it a very unpleasant experience for potential buyers. In addition to that, they may refuse to move out for whatever reason. It has happened before, and then it may be very hard to evict the tenant sometimes, even though when you submit the paperwork to them, to physically move them is another challenge and very, very difficult to do so. Of course, this speaks to the character of the tenant. They may not be a bad person, or they are professional. They could be an accountant or a lawyer in real life, and they make good money and make a good living, and they generally may be good people, but let's say you get on the wrong foot with them, or you really piss them off and there's really a grudge there, and they really want to take it out on you for whatever reason. They may not cooperate, and they pretty much can make your life a living hell. So we don't want to be in that situation, whereas you want to give the tenant that intention or that feeling that, I don't need to cooperate with you. I'm not going to help you out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make it worse for you because you made my life worse. So you definitely don't want to start a relationship that way, because when you need them to do something for you, you want to feel like it's reciprocated and, it's a two-way street. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content. As a landlord, I hope you learned something and you took something from it, as well as I wish you all the best in your new ventures. And of course, if you have investment thoughts and investment purchases in mind, please let me know, and I will be happy to send you all the latest opportunities right here in GTA Toronto. There's a lot of exciting projects, and we have VIP access to a lot of projects, meaning you get first priority access to them, as well as discounts and incentives. I really appreciate it if you would like, comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, keep it 100.